Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. As you can see, I'm preparing my area for today's work. If you don't want to get any paints on the floor, this step is really necessary. So here comes our workpieces. I'm going to transform the look of all these yogurt cans today, and the results are going to be amazing. I've got all my stuffs ready, and I'll be using acrylic colors today. Spray paint doesn't work on yogurt cans, it won't stick onto it. So let's get started. I'll first brush off any sand remains from the can using a soft brush. I'll be applying a black base first on all the cans. So before doing that, I'll be tying up the plant using a metal wire. Painting the cans before planting would have made the whole process a lot easier, but currently I'm out of that option. So I would recommend you guys to do it before planting. I'll apply the paint directly onto the container, and I'll be using a soft brush to spread it out. Follow one direction while spreading out the paint, and be careful not to use any water, because if you use any water it won't stick onto the can and it will be a lot messier. Continue the process till you cover the whole can with the paint. This is one way in which you can apply the paint onto the can. I'll be showing you another technique where it will be a lot easier for you than this one. We are almost ready. Yes, we are done. For the second technique, I'll be using a sponge. Apply the paint first onto the can. Using a sponge, just dab on the paint and spread it out evenly in all directions so that you fill all the empty area with the paint. Just removing all the sand remains from the can. Continue the process till you cover the whole can with the paint. Using a sponge to spread out the paint seems to be a lot easier than using a brush. And also using a sponge gives a special texture effect, as you can see. So I've covered all the 6 cans with the black base, and I've kept it to dry before doing the designing part. So now the pot is completely dry, and now we'll start designing our pot. So here I'll be sharing with you some easy tips to do the designing part. So for the first design, I'll be using a number 7 pointed brush, and I'll be using titanium white acrylic paint and crimson red Fabrica acrylic colors. I'll be making rose patterns for my first design. As you can see, I'm just making some random strokes here. And one tip that I would like to give you is that you have to first dip on the darker paint. In our case, it's crimson red. And after that, you have to dab your brush on the lighter paint. In our case, it's titanium white. And then you just start applying the strokes as I have shown you here. And one thing to note is that if you want to get this pattern, as I'm doing, you need to use pointed brush. So make sure you're using a really good brush. If you take care of these two factors, the process is going to be a lot easier. So I'll just continue this until I get a ring of this pattern on the can. Now I'm showing this to you in real time, just so that you would understand how I'm doing this really well. And for the buds, I'm just starting with a small circle and then I'm just following my brush strokes. So this is my first time doing roses, this kind of rose. And it went pretty well. The only thing that I felt is just be careful about your brush and also how you tap on the paints. So first go with the darker paint and then go with the lighter paint. And then you will be doing fine. We are almost done with the flowers. I'll be using dark green color from Fevicryl Acrylics to do the leaf part. So I'll be just randomly doing the stem part and the leaf part. And here's the final result of our design. I hope you all love it and do try it out. It's going to be really easy. Now for the second design, I'll be using a sponge and gold and bronze acrylic colors. So I'm just dabbing on the paint and spreading it out on the can. So all you have to do is dab the paint softly onto the can. Don't press too hard, just dab it slightly on the can. So for the final step, you'll need a pencil, and I'll be using the back of the pencil, and also you will need Fabrica acrylic colors black color. I'm using Mars black. I'll dip the pencil back onto the paint and I'll just dab it on the board. So here's the final result after adding the polka dots onto the design. And for the third step, I'll be using phthalo blue acrylic color, and I have some crimson red and titanium white too. So I'll be just dabbing the sponge onto all these paints randomly, and then I'll just tap it onto the can just to create a night sky effect. So I'll just spread it out evenly onto the can. So I'm not covering the whole board with this design, I'm just covering one part. So I'll be spraying white paint using a brush to create star effect. And now I'll start drawing cute little pine trees using a fan brush. I'm using black acrylic colors to do so. And now for the fourth design, we have two earbuds, and I'll be just dipping my earbud on some paint. I'll be using crimson red for the first flower. I'll just create patterns like these. So I'm just making cute little petals. You need to press lightly and move inwards in one direction. So I'm just creating random flowers using the same technique. And if you want to create shade effect, just dab the paint on the dark paint first and then the light paint. And just repeat the same process. So now dip your earbud on some white paint and press it gently onto the center of your flower. And there you go. And now for the leaf bud, I'll be using sap green and some lemon yellow to create the dark and light effects. And I'll be using 0.7 pointed brush. And here's the final result. And for the fifth design, I'll be using sap green and some lemon yellow, and I'll be using 0.7 pointed brush for doing this design. Just follow the paint strokes as I'm doing here and use lemon yellow to create the shade effect. So I'm just creating leaf patterns here. I'll be covering the whole bottom of the can with this design. here's the end result. So now we have all our 5 boards ready. So I've shown you 5 easy designs which you can do yourself at home on your board. You can transform your board into cute little pieces like these. So for the 6th board, I actually did rose itself, and I used vermilion and lemon yellow, and I have added some cute little flowers to these using metallic markers. And here's our final results, and these look really gorgeous, as you can see. And this is actually some polka dots I did using metallic markers. Hope you guys love it. Do share your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section below. And do subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thank you so much for watching.